Space sector is blasting off as one startup is boosting its capital for space superiority. True Anomaly is a defense tech firm that designs satellites and software to enhance U.S. and allied capabilities in space security. The Colorado-based firm has just raised $650 million in its Series D funding round, co-led by Eclipse Ventures and Riot Ventures, bringing the total valuation to a cool $2.2 billion. True Anomaly's primary partner is the U.S. Space Force, where its technology is being used in President Trump's Golden Dome. Joining me now, live in studio, True Anomaly co-founder and CEO, Evan Rogers. You have a wild background that I want to get into, but first, this funding round, what do you use the money for?
It's an incredible round, and all of it is going to space superiority technology development. We're doubling the size of the team. Right now, we're 300. We started this year at 250. We have 140,000 square feet of manufacturing space. We're going to, by the end of the next decade, we'll add another 1 million to 2 million of square feet in manufacturing capability. And we're really investing in our product, Jackal Mosaic. And we were just awarded a contract for the Space-Based Interceptor program under Golden Dome, and we'll be investing heavily in maturing that capability.
Talk to me about Jackal, the satellite, and Mosaic, the software. How do they work together?
Yeah, so Jackal was our first product, our first hardware product, and we built Mosaic and Jackal together. We designed them together. And the problem that we were trying to solve is really reconnaissance missions against highly agile and maneuverable targets in any orbit. Our adversaries have deployed capabilities in geosynchronous orbit, low Earth orbit, and now it's cislunar. And those assets are really maneuverable. So it takes a highly maneuverable asset to go figure out what those capabilities are doing and then engage them if necessary.
What I love about your story is, and I want you to get in a little bit to your background, but then you left public service, Air Force, I believe. Thank you for your service. And then you went private, private money and you to believe in entrepreneurship and to take on China, right? How do you make that pivot? How do you go from the public sector to the private sector because you have a product that you believe in and you want to develop and create something good? Well,
you said it. You need a lot of belief in a mission, and you need just enough ignorance to be able to go do it.
No, you're doing it.
I spent 10 years in the Air Force. I joined as a space operations officer. I wanted to go into civil space. And while I was in the military, I really had a front row seat to the transformation of the space domain into a warfighting domain. I got to see Russia and China build space weapons and test those space weapons. And I also got to see the United States lack the capability to really respond at scale, and the defense industrial base wasn't stepping up to develop new products. And I served in a variety of different roles that let me see that problem set from a different set of facets. And by 2022, when I left the military, I really realized that there needed to be an industrial partner to invest alongside the Space Force to go build out this new set of capabilities. I only spent 12 days out of uniform before starting True Anomaly with my co-founders. So I left the military to go pursue this mission at scale.
Are we behind Russia and China?
We're pretty significantly behind both Russia and China, yeah. We've seen space superiority systems be used in contemporary conflicts. The Russian-Ukrainian conflict, space has a pivotal role in the modern battlefield. And we most recently saw them in Operation Epic Fury. General Kane and Secretary Hegseth in the opening days of that conflict highlighted the role of the Space Force and U.S. Cybercom and U.S. Spacecom working alongside other joint force partners to gain and maintain space superiority. Now, push that into the idea of a conflict with Russia and China, we're able to gain space superiority against an adversary like Iran in a relatively trivial way. Not to trivialize what our service members are doing, but Iran doesn't have space weapons at scale. China and Russia have them.
So what does that look like? Because everyone tells me the next battle frontier is in space. It won't be boots on the ground. It'll be satellites in space or whatnot. So to someone like me, I'm trying to figure out, what do you mean? Like, what does that look like? Is that like they're shooting weapons from space? Is it they're jamming the signals so that we can't communicate? Are they shutting down our grid in space? When you say space superiority, what does that mean?
Yeah, Taylor, you did a great job of actually summarizing it. Russia and China have built missiles that are launched from the surface of the Earth to strike kinetically satellites in space. They're building robotic systems in space that are designed to target satellites from space. And most recently, there's suspicion that China is working on a space-to-ground kinetic weapon. So unprompted, unwarned strike anywhere on the planet. And that includes carrier strike groups. So the United States has some work to do to catch up here, and we're going to be part of that journey.
Do the likes of like Boeing and Lockheed now look at you and say, we need to do what this guy's doing? Because that's like sort of the big industrial giants that I don't want to say we're slow to pivot, but when you have a young new startup create this, then they realize they're behind. Do you then worry that they pivot and encroach on your competitive territory? Or do you think that you have enough of a first mover advantage that you can build a moat around your business?
I think it's a great question. I think that the real story here is twofold. The first is the Department of War is undergoing a massive transformation in the way that they acquire systems. And that allows for an opening with players like True Anomaly and new industrial players. Anduril has largely pioneered the space of defense tech and defense tech investing. True Anomaly is part of that. There's others like Saronic that are playing in other domains, and Shield AI that are playing in the aero domain. We're focused exclusively on space superiority. So the combination of acquisition reform that allows companies like True Anomaly that are mission focused to build defense products, exclusively defense products, combined with substantial growth in the defense market, the Department of War's space superiority budget is what allows us to really play in this space. The Space Force's budget is going from $40 billion to $72 billion next year. Less than a decade ago, it was around $15 billion. So this is a growth market. We think we have advantages by virtue of our focus on space superiority solutions with no dual use thesis.
Growth market for revenue. Do you turn a profit? When do you expect to turn a profit? What can you give us for the numbers?
Yeah, we have a path to profitability, but we are really playing to win and take market share today. I think you were going to ask probably about our path to an IPO.
Yes.
I'm focused on my management team and I, of course, are focused on building the capacity to have the optionality to take capital where it makes sense. But we are investing heavily in our products, investing heavily in scale, and of course, we, alongside our investors, see the opportunities that the public markets are presenting right now.
SpaceX is going. SpaceX. Can we talk about that? That is like the IPO of the year. I am so excited.
Yeah, we're
it's like
very
a multi-trillion-dollar valuation. But does that what make? I mean, look, you don't want to be a fad. You're building a business for the long term. But when mom and dad and grandma and me, we're all excited about SpaceX, do you not say like, oh my gosh, space is so hot, let's go, I mean, you can't go public today, but you know what I mean? Like, it's joining the excitement that I think all of America after Artemis 2 is totally excited about space.
This is the golden age of space. There's no question. There's a lot of factors that are coming together, and the public markets and generally the private markets are important elements of that. But really what we focus on at True Anomaly is delivering capabilities to the warfighter and doing that in a way that allows us to build a generational business. True Anomaly is at the center of 4 secular trends, like tectonic shifts for humanity, and it's space, defense, robotics, and AI. And I think if we focus in the right way, we'll be able to build a business that'll last for decades.
Final question. What was the biggest challenge of starting this business?
Oh, just purely my own ignorance. You know, when you're an Air Force officer, you're lacking some of the skills that are required to be a defense tech CEO.
Well, you guys are smart and nimble, and you can think on the fly.
No, I think what you mean is we have a very high pain tolerance, and so we've had to learn very quickly. We've had to eat a lot of glass, and but fortunately, the mission speaks for itself, and talent's attracted to that, and capital is attracted to that.
Well, we need more people like you to take on Russia and China and Iran. Thank you for your time and for your service and for being here. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.